My name is Lauren and I am the Stitch Smith. I've been cross stitching for on and off nearly 6 years now, because I started in 2020 when the pandemic hit. But I've had some sort of stops and starts in that time, and I decided that in August last year I'd sort of pick it back up. I've had some sort of health problems and I found that cross stitch was really nice and relaxing. So yeah, picked it back up. I do a variety of cross stitch as well. I do non-full coverage and full coverage, variety of different fabrics, I guess. But I thought today I would just try and do a Wip Parade. I've seen everyone else doing them, so I sort of wanted to join in the fun. I'm gonna try and go through oldest to newest. This is my first Wip Parade, so I don't have any pictures of what they were like before, but I will try and put in any pictures of the patterns if I can find them, and I'm going to try and sort of roll out the pieces because some of them are pretty big, and we'll try and go from there. So this is the oldest cross stitch project that I have. This is the Gen 1 Pokemon by Lord Libidan, something like that. I started this one, I believe, in 2023. Yeah, so I started this one in 2023. As you can see, I've done quite a bit of it, but I just haven't really been called to work on it recently. It's just a bit, I don't know, just burnt out. I think that's why I partially stopped doing cross stitch as well, was because I started this one, got bored of it, and was very much a monogamous sort of stitcher at the time. I had a couple of smaller projects, but I was bored, so I kind of put this away and then never did anything with it again. But I am planning to get more done this year because I've done 41.47%, and ideally I would like to at least try and get to 75% by the end of this year, because I do sort of stitch a lot. I stitch most days, so even if I put a couple of threads in, or because it's full coverage, I thought about trying up a different sort of method. You know how you've got the typewriter method and you've got the diagonals and blah blah blah. This is in Pattern Keeper, and I use Pattern Keeper for a lot, if it's not a paper pattern, that is. So I'm tempted to try maybe diagonals or something else, just so I can try and spice it up a bit. But I was sort of doing page by page. This is a page, and there's like another page. I think it goes 5 across. So that row at the top is done, and then I did this one. But I started this one 2023. Don't think I'll get it finished next year because it's such a big one, but you never know, maybe I'll get the spice for it, because I'm also planning on doing Milestone Manor, which is Jessie Marie Does Stuff, her game. It's sort of a D&D adventure-esque sort of thing, and maybe I'll get this in one of those rooms, but I don't know. I'm trying to keep all of my scroll frames in there. Oh, excuse the dog hair as well. And the pattern, let's remove that for a second. Doesn't help. So this is the solar system. It was in Cross Stitcher January 2018. I've officially done half. So where this line is about here, that is where the second page happens. And I do like this one, but it has sort of the metallic thread in it, and it's infuriating. It's all in that border. I don't know if you can see. It's all in that border, all the way across, all the way down, and in most of these bits here as well, in all the words, which is putting me off slightly. It's such a pain. I hate metallic thread so much. But it's fine. I will finish this at some point. I'm hoping to get at least another quarter done next year. I'm being really lenient with my sort of goals and my challenges that I'm putting forward to myself, because I don't want to feel too pressured in trying to get it sorted and done. But a nice little end of the year goal would be great. You know, it's one of those where I'm like, oh, I could do something nice. Well done. I've done the bare minimum. One of them. So I do want to try and get them finished as soon as possible, just so they're out of the way. Okay, so this next project that I have is a bit of a random one. So I wanted to try, I've basically been buying job lots of threads, embroidery floss, just to try and bulk up my stash and things. But I got a mixed bundle a while ago. Somebody had a whole collection, and a load of thread in there wasn't sort of named, it wasn't numbered. So I have no idea what it is. So I decided to try and use up that thread by creating my own little sampler, sort of Quakery thing. So this is all I have because I got distracted by other projects. So I've decided to call this the season sampler. So I'm planning on having 4 sort of similar designs, like in a square. This is what I sort of represent as spring. Then I'll do some summery colours, autumnal colours and wintry colours. And just make up my own little thing, but I'm going to change the design slightly. I bought a pattern on Etsy, I think it was, and it had loads of squares with different designs. So I'm just going to pick 4 that I think are kind of cute, put them together. But this is my 3rd oldest one, and I haven't done anything with this in a while. I don't even know when I really started it. I think it was this year, not too sure. Need to get some work done on this because it's not going to take too long once I've chosen the colours. But I think that was quite cute, and I'm going to do a little sort of grey border to go around because I had quite a bit of that colour. Yeah, and this is on some sort of Ada. It may be 14 or 16, but it was a big chunk that I had in my stash and was just like, yeah, something easy if I want something chill. I think I could probably get this finished this year if I just sat down and sorted it out. We'll see what happens with that. But that is the season sampler. And these bags that I have my projects in, they're pretty good, they're good sizes, but I got them in a cheap bundle off of Vinted. I think they're little wash bags, but you'll see most of my projects are in these. And I think I got 12 for £5 or something. They were really cheap. They're quite good, but the zips are trash. So, anyway, moving on. The next one I have is the Walk Fast sampler. So this has 2,677 stitches completed out of 10,707, which means that this one is 25% complete. So this one will be quite a big one. I believe it's a Golden Girls quote, and it says something along the lines of, you can lead a herring to water, but you have to be fast. You have to walk fast, if not you'll die. I just thought it was funny. But this is on 32 count Murano by Jodrey Designs, the March 2017 limited edition Dawn of Spring. If that makes anything. And it's quite a big piece, but that'll be a nice cute one. But I've got 25% done, so I think I'm aiming to get at least half of it done by next year, just because, as you see, as we go on, I have got quite a few different projects that I really want to get more done on than this one. I love it, but it'll make more sense as we go on. I'm doing this with all, I was going to say all the called for DMC, but I didn't have all of the called for DMC, so I just chose slightly different, similar colours. But this is a Lindy Stitches pattern, I believe. Really cute. Love that one. Next we've got Dracula. This is by somebody on Etsy, which I will try and find the name of. But she's got a lot of similar patterns. She does this one. She's got, I believe, an Alice in Wonderland, one with Mr. Darcy in it, Beauty and the Beast. Either way, this is how far I've got on this one. So Dracula has 2,359 stitches out of 36,856. 36,856, which is at 6.4%. So that's what this one looks like. I nearly said she. It is like a monochrome pattern, but I decided that I'd do sort of most of the castle in that dark red and then Dracula in like a dark blue colour. So the castle is in 902 and Dracula is in 500 DMC. As you can see, I'm doing 1/1. I'm not sure what this kind of fabric is. Might be a 28. Yeah, definitely a 28. But what brand? Couldn't tell you. But yep, that's as far as I've got on that one. And that most of them now have been started in 2025. Since about probably August when I got back into it heavily. But yeah, that's Dracula. Halloween sampler is next. I tried to sort of line them up. Oh, and these are little pouches. I have no idea where I got these from. I have been hoarding these for quite a while. This is on 28 count even weave, 1/1. It's like a dark pinky purple background. This was also an Etsy pattern. It's just a really small little sampler. I'm doing it 1/1 again. And this one has 3,137 stitches out of 7,130 and is 44% complete. And I think I can finish this one in 2026 or this year, because it's now January 1st. So I reckon I could get this finished this year. I'm not enjoying stitching the cat for some reason. They go all the way around. They're sort of symmetrical all the way around. I don't really like stitching black, like 310, just because it's thinner. It can annoy the other stitches around it, you know, and it just brings up fluff through it. But this is a predominantly black pattern, so what are you going to do? So doing all the called for DMC for that one. I think it's only 4 colours. It is quite a nice little relaxing stitch, but I think maybe I'll wait until a bit closer to Halloween. Maybe I'll give it like a September, October sort of, pull that out and get that done. But yeah, that's that one. Next we've got Merida. I bought this pattern a long time ago. So I really like Merida as like the Disney film. Really cute, love it. But I found this pattern, I found this artist. She does a lot of different Disney ones. And I'm doing it 1/1 on, I believe, the same fabric as Dracula. I don't know what it's called. But this is as far as I've got. It's really cute. 2,177 out of 39,404. So we're at 5.52%. This is brown bit is going to go into like the mama bear. Really cute. That's like part of the castle and these bushes. But I think I've come to terms with the fact that I don't really like block stitching. It's just not really for me. Is it coming out really cute and bright? Absolutely. Is it going to look really cute done? Absolutely. But originally I was doing it 2/1. Didn't like it. Like, you can't really tell, but the more central you go, you can see that there's more of like a puffy stitch. Decided I didn't like that, so I started doing 1/2, 1/1 even. It looks a lot better, so much neater. But we'll see. We'll see how much of that gets done. I don't want to give up on it quite yet. But we'll see. These I've also had forever. They're really cool little just zippy pouches, and I got them off of Amazon, I believe. They were pretty cheap. I think they came in like a pack of 12. Good little option, because I think I prefer them over the bigger ones, but I digress. Right. The next one I stepped into, this is the first full coverage project that I started. So this one is called the Cabinet of Curiosity. It's charted by Thread Geeks. Yeah, by Thread Geeks. I can't remember who the artwork's by, but I'll make a note of it somewhere. This is 7,928 stitches out of 213,840, so we're at 3.71%. Let's see. So this is literally a cabinet of curiosity. That is literally what it is. And this part is pretty much done. This sort of first part of the bookshelf. Then it goes on to like a crystal-y bit. But I haven't really been focusing as much on this one as another one of my full coverage cross stitches, but you know, I'll get to that one in a minute. But I really like how this one's coming out. I think it looks really good, really realistic, because one of the things I'm most worried about with putting all the hours into a full coverage cross stitch is it looking really pixelated and not very clear. Whereas if like I put this one back, like there, you can see what it is. It makes sense, it looks good. And I think with a lot of my full coverage I go for the XL extra large, just to get all that extra detail in it, and extra colours and things. But that's that one, and that one was definitely started this year. And that one I was sort of doing a bit of a stitching, parking method, but I don't think I like parking on full coverage. I like to do sort of one strand and then follow it as far as it goes, and then it's done. But I'm still experimenting, so we'll see. After the cabinet, I've got Jinx. Jinx was definitely started this year, mostly because it reminds me of my little sister who went off to uni. So I must have started this about September time when she went to uni, because I was thinking of her. And this is Jinx. I will put a note of if I can find the person who made the pattern. So that's what she looks like at the moment. This one is definitely planned to be a finish this year because it's not that much left. I think there's 1,000 stitches left. So she's got 4,419 stitches in her and only needs 5,794 to be complete. But this pattern has a lot of back stitch on it. Oh, that's quite good from far away as well. There's a lot of back stitch, which I will be beasting, and I will be finishing this year. Jinx will be done, and I will try and find the name of the person that I got her from. I like to try and fold up my pieces as well, so I can kind of see the front of them while they're in the bag. Oh, and this one is also by Jode Reese Designs, 32 count Murano, January 2017, limited edition, Year of the Rooster. It's just a really quite a nice neutral base. I like it. And I don't know where to find any more. I get a lot of my fabrics and stuff off of Vinted. I sort of wait, try and find some nice fabrics because I don't really know where else to buy them from. Right, let me put them away. I'll grab a couple more and I'll be right back. Okay, so next up I have the Scary Sampler. This is by Heartstring Designs? Heartstring Samplery. So that's what this one will look like. You'll probably have seen quite a few people stitching it. It's got a lot of sort of sci-fi and fictional or non-fiction, don't know, sort of references. It says in here all of the different ones, lots of books, shows, movies. I'm not going to read through all of them because there's a lot, but it has sort of the Demogorgons going around, creepy houses, Beetlejuice, lots of cool things. If you're into sort of spooky stuff, this is probably for you. I decided to stitch this on a 32 count belt. I don't know who by. I don't know who. Don't know. But this is as far as I've got. So I've done quite a bit of the border at the top. I've completely finished one page. I'm sort of onto the second page, moving myself along. I really want to get more of this done next year. I think it's so cool. I've done it 1/2, so it gives it more of a vintage sort of look to me. Sorry if you can hear my dog jumping up on the sofa. Gives it more sort of a vintagey sort of style. The little alien hairs, these are little Demogorgons. Really cool. I really want to get more of this one done, but then that's what everyone says about all of their projects. I am using some of the Classic Colorworks and Gentle Arts, or maybe all of them now. This is when I started to first branch out into fancy threads. So we've got Grapevine by Weeks Dye Works, Collards, Raven by Gentle Arts, Stepping Stones by Classic Colorworks, and Mossy from Classic Colorworks. So it's got a lot of like vintagey, dark green browns. Love them though. And there's sort of other DMC in there as well, but details, who cares about that? And I am sort of trying to put them all back in their packaging as best as I can. But did I completely unroll this? No. I just think this old sort of green colour is going to look really good. I don't want to say it looks mouldy, because it doesn't, but it gives that sort of grungy browny green, bit orangey as well, sort of effect. But yeah, and did I, yeah, no, I've only completed that one page. But I look forward to getting back to that one, as per usual. All right, next one. I started the Toad Ghoul Stitch Along by Noctiflora. And by started, I mean I got a good chunk of it done and I was really excited to sort of continue with it, but I may or may not have messed up with choosing, like counting my fabric and making sure there was enough room. So I'm using Pole Stitch Designs Silver Lining on 32 count Murano Lugana. I got a good chunk of this done, but because of the way that it was released, it sort of started at the bottom and sort of worked its way up. So I had to wait until part 9 just to make sure that I had enough room to actually finish it, because I didn't want to fill in the rest of it and then not have enough for the top. So I chose this sort of lighter grey, move that out of the way, lighter grey colour. Let's see if I can fold it up so you can see the back of it there. And yes, I've got a couple of parked threads, but kind of jumped around in colours a little bit. So that is what mine is looking like. I've completely finished part 1 through to 4 back stitching all. So the mushrooms, it's too big. Right, so these mushrooms and the ones on the other side, which I'm not going to show properly. Oh my goodness, Toad Ghoul, you've caused me so many issues, stop it. So these ones, this sort of edge here, there's like a bit, the tree that goes across the bottom. I've started part, I think this is part 4 maybe, and then that one, I don't know, no, I don't know. But it literally goes up to here and I have this much. It was such a relief, but also stress, because that is not very much for the edge of your fabric. Like, that's a small amount of room, but I have got like a whole another half of this fabric that I can use for something else, which I do kind of have plans for. There is a sort of project that I think would look good on this, but I'm not interested in that right now. So that's what that one looks like. Really cool. I think you can still get this on Etsy and it'll just come out as the full pattern now because everything's been released. But the last bit was here, I believe. I don't think it goes any higher than that, but it might. Still a bit risky. And this one has that weird fluorescent thread in it, which, like the light effect DMC, because it's all DMC and I've used all the colours. This sort of neon yellow, very much similar to the metallic. It's such a pain. It's such a pain to work with, but it does look really cool and I'm really loving it. So yeah, I'll be carrying on with this one this year. I don't know if I'll get this one finished this year, just because I've got so many projects, but I'm definitely gonna have a good try and I want to get a good few more of the parts finished. Unless it turns out that that one is higher than everything else and then I'm just gonna throw it away. No, I won't. So this is the Cottage Garden Samplings Barn Owl. I love all of their patterns. I just think they're really sort of relaxing. They've got really cool patterns on it. Don't know about this house. I feel like the house is really random. It looks like a little sort of gingerbread house in the background. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but I've done it on 5 on a whim 32 count smoky quartz. And that's kind of where I'm up to. So I would say I'm nearly sort of halfway there. All from about here, like his like brown bit here and up, I've pretty much done. There's some more leaves that need to go on this bit with the berries. But that's pretty much where I'm at. But yeah, I think it's looking really cute. I'm doing it with all the cord 4 DMC, and I've got a couple of I've got one skein of carrots by Weeks Dye Works, but I probably need to buy another one because it does say to have 2, and I've got 1, which means it might not be the same colour as the next one I get, but part of the fun. I don't care. I'm not too bothered by it. I think it looks really good. But yes, that is bar now. Put them back there. Then we've... Lazo, leave it alone. There's a box in the background and my dog decided to nudge it. Then this is the full coverage project that I have the most done on. So this, excuse the chaos, is Merfolk. I was gifted this pattern by my partner for my birthday in October 2025, and I got all the stuff and was able to start it, I believe, on the 29th of October. And this is the picture is done by Anne Stokes, the artwork itself. The chart is done by Thread Geeks again. I think they were having their sort of sale, their closing down sale or retiring pattern sale. I don't think they're closing down. They retired a lot of their patterns and I got a load of them then. This is, it's got 25,149 stitches out of 228,420 stitches. So it's 11.01% complete. So far I've completed, there was 3 pages up here. They're all done. Now I'm sort of moving down. All of this here is just black. I need to just sit down and fill it out. And I'm sort of doing it where I pick a colour, and it's sort of almost typewriter method, where you pick a colour and just sort of work it wherever it goes. Because I'm only going down to about here. I don't want to go outside of these pages particularly. I am doing a little bit so that you can't sort of tell with the lines. It doesn't get into sort of blatant lines. And then I'm going to move this way. I want to try and get all the way across the top, I think, and then I'll go down to here and go all the way across. And that's what that one looks like at the moment. And my other half has challenged me to see if I can get this finished. He said originally by my next birthday, but that's a lot of stitches to get done in like 10 months. Seeing as I've only got 20, how much was it? 25,000 done in 2 months. I don't think this is going to happen. But I think I'm going to try and get it done in the next 12 months. This will be like a heavy focus this year, just because I want to try and get that done. But yes, so that's that one. I will be focusing on that again next year. You'll read. So I don't know if I need to restart this one. I decided that I was going to do it on 28 count ice blue. Don't know who it's by. And this pattern is a cute little Yule wreath, and it's from Fine Frog Stitching. The mistake I think I have made, well, not necessarily, I was thinking if I did it small enough I could turn it into a sort of decoration and then I can gift it to someone for Christmas. I did 1/1 on this 28 count. The colours that it's called for are not all the colours that I've used. I was missing a couple of colours and haven't been down to the shop yet to be able to go and get the ones that I need. I did start with 2/1 as well, and you know I don't really like the bulky stitches. So started at 2/1, changed to 1/1. That's as far as it got. And if I'm honest, it looks a little bit possessed at the moment. I think I messed up slightly on some of the stitches as well. I think I missed a line, but because it's so small, I don't think it really matters. I think it's part of his neck. I missed a line of stitching. It just went wrong and continued to go wrong. So I think I've probably got enough fabric if I wanted to do 1/2 or 2/2, 1/2, I probably could. I probably could have done it in the right size, because look at the piece of fabric that I chose. But I decided to do 1/1 because I wanted to make it into a decoration. But it doesn't matter, because that's late next year, Lauren's problem. And yeah, that's as far as that one's got. I don't really know what else to do with it. Do I restart it? Maybe. Do I really want to? Just because it's given me a bit of a pain. Been a bit awkward. Not really. Just making sure my patterns don't fall down the back of the sofa, because that'd be rubbish. Right, so after that one, I have done 12 before 12. This, I did it slightly different to the traditional. So a lot of people before New Year's, they do 12 projects leading up to New Year's. I decided that I was going to start 12 projects, but on the 12 days leading up to New Year's, because I didn't want to have teeny tiny starts. I wanted to have solid starts so that when I pick it up again this year, it'll get me going. And I'll be like, yeah, we've got plenty to do. Let's go. Because starting a project can also be sometimes like why I don't really want to. I don't mind starting projects, but also working out the fabric and working out everything else, trying to find all the threads. Unless you go into the shop and you're buying everything, bit of a pain. So the first one is Vicious Fang Trap. This is by Noctiflora Designs again. My sister bought me this for my birthday. Thread in the way. Like this. So it's basically going to be a big old Venus flytrap. It's on sort of a aged sort of looking fabric in the mock-up for when you make it. Oh my god, get your words out. I just did this on a 28 count. That's all it says, 28 count. A lot of the time I go to a needle shop in Great Yarmouth. I say a lot of the time. I've been once and I sort of increased my stash quite a bit. She has these bins and it's like offcuts that come in these little bags of Ada, Lugana, whatever. If there's smaller bits that she doesn't want to put back on the shelf, she'll put them in these little bags. And I dug through. This was a 12 inch by 19 inch piece of 28 count mystery fabric. £3.36. A little bargain. So I sort of dug through and found a load that I liked, and this one was perfect for this one. So I haven't been saying how many I've done. This is 835 out of 4,218, so I'm at 19.8%. And this has got backstitch and things, and it will look really good when it's done. But I think that's a solid start for like 1 day's work. Quite proud of that. That's not too good. The next one is Love My Dog. So this is a paper pattern. I sort of swung between paper patterns that I had lying around, charted one, paper patterns and PDFs that I've got on Pattern Keeper. I use Pattern Keeper. I do charts on paper as well. So this is Love My Dog Quaker by Romina Petrucci. Maybe. Looks like this. I really got into variegated threads at the end of the year as well. They use a variety of like DMC and things. I have some stashed DMC that are not DMC, stashed variegated and sort of fancy flosses that I'm starting to collect, and I just wanted to try and use them. So this is as far as I got. I decided that I was going for the pink, yellow, greeny blue effect. So the sort of colours that I've put in here is, we've got Pansy by Cottage Garden Threads, which kind of looks like this. So it's got like the pink, green, blue, yellow in it, like the full, which is what I used for that alphabet bit. And then when I was digging through, I've got Daffodil by Weeks Dye Works. We've got Americana by Weeks Dye Works. Begonia by Weeks Dye Works. And Bayberry Bayberry, I don't know. But all four together is kind of similar to the Cottage Garden thread one. But I did a reasonable start. This fabric, I don't know what it is or where I got it from, but it is very stiff. And yeah, I don't like it. But I reckon I can actually get this done. On this, it's only small, it's not going to take too long, but it gives me a bit of sort of creative freedom to sort of flip between them. That one was day 2. Got another full coverage piece. So this is a little pouchy thing that I made myself, because those big ones, they're quite nice, but for sort of a smaller project where I'm mostly going to just be shoving the project instead of like tons and tons of colours and things. Like, I've only got this many colours for it at the moment because I'm starting in the top. Anyway, I digress. And then the fabric, it's like a little, it's almost the size of like a book cover carry case. I like it. I made it. I like it. That's all that matters. So this is going to be Death by Thread Geeks. So this is one of my smaller full coverage pieces. It's only going to be this wide. It is, it's got 1,488 stitches out of 103,680. So 1.44% in a day. In a day. Does it look like much? Not really. It's got like a frame that goes around the edge. I'll try and put a picture in if I can sort that out. But that's not bad for one day. So I'd like to get a good chunk of this done. It's got sort of an image of, I think it's death, and then there's like a woman on a boat. That's a bit going through almost like this golden archway. It may be a piece of artwork by somebody. It's gotta be. I don't know. Either way, day 3, solid. Number 4, Haku. So I think this is the same fabric as the dog one. No, it isn't. I lied. So Haku is a piece that's made by the same person that does Jinx, and this piece did my head in. It's a really pretty pattern. Another really stiff bit of fabric, like very stiff. Can you hear it crunching? Anyway, and I think this is 2/2. I believe it might be a 28 count. I have no idea. And I can't tell you which way up it goes. Maybe that way? And I did 355 stitches out of 6,745, 5.26% complete. And it will be quite cute. It was one of the ones where I had messed up and put my stitches in the wrong place. Pretty much done a whole thread, realised it was wrong. Had to unpick it all, and then the thread sort of broke and went all sort of fluffy. I had to completely unstitch it. Then when I was trying to pull it out, I used my needle and to sort of unpick it, and the tension in the thread made it just ping, and it went somewhere. It pung across the room. I was able to find it, but it was so annoying. And it was just one of those ones where it got to the point where I was really annoyed with it. No, like, the pattern hadn't done anything. It was just me being an idiot. So I got 355 stitches on that one. And I don't really look forward to going back to it, but it's going to look really good, and it looks really good on the fabric. I'll sort it out. It'll be fine. I'll put my big girl pants on and get over it. Next is New Doors. This is an ink circles pattern. So it looks like this. No, it doesn't. You can't see it. The sun is not playing with me today. There. Ink circles. And I just thought it was really cute and made sense going into the new year. It says, old keys won't open new doors, which I think is very sweet. And sort of all about growth and blah, blah, blah. Very cute. And it needed a lot of weeks. Is it weeks? No, it needed classic colourworks. And I had a couple of the threads that I needed, like the blacks and the greys. So it calls for cauldron and black coffee. I had a couple of them. Well, I had one each of them. But all the other ones, I did not have any of them. So I have just decided to make my own conversion. I have a load of fancy thread. I can get similar colours. It'll be fine. And I decided to do it on this sort of smoky looking Zweigart, which I believe is a 28 count. It's got this sort of cloudy, sort of marbly look to it, which I thought would be cute, but I only did this corner. I only did this bit because I spent so long on that day worried about thread and worried about colours that I decided, actually, let's just get some of it done. So yeah, I don't think you'd be able to tell that that's not the same. Maybe my red's a bit deeper, but it's fine. It doesn't matter. It's gonna look cute. So, didn't even finish one page. Didn't really get very far at all. Stressed myself out. It was one of those where I was just getting a bit angsty. You know, you're like, oh my god, it's not gonna look the same. It doesn't have to look the same. It doesn't have to look exactly the same. I think that with full coverage pieces, if you're doing sort of a realistic-y looking one, or not realistic, you know what I mean. Full coverage, I think it's more important to get all the right colours. You can't really substitute in many colours for a full coverage, like this one, like Merfolk or whatever. If I just randomly chose a different purple or green or blue, that would probably mess up the pattern quite a bit. But if I pick a different colour for this one and just use it all the way through, who's going to know? Especially when it's up on my wall. Who's going to know? Nobody's going to know, apart from me, but it's fine. So, it's fine. Next, I did Up on the Rooftop. So this was on Christmas Day. I decided to start this one. And this is, it's not Up on the Rooftop, it's Up on the Housetop by Teresa Kogut. Which I don't know if you'll be able to see. Can you see it? Oh, that'll do. It's got basically 3 snowmen on the top of the house. And I decided to use this fabric that is blue ice dyed 28 count opalescent. That's all it says. Maybe Lugana, maybe even weave. It doesn't matter, it's 28 count. And I got this fabric off of Vinted. I believe there's somebody on there that does their own sort of fabrics. Look how cool that looks. Look how cool that fabric is. But I did most of, well, I did most of this snowman, other than the fact I didn't have the fancy floss for this one. But I don't really care because I got quite a big chunk down. There he is. And then there's a foot of something else. And there's the snow on the top of the house. And the star up the top there with the little brown arms. I didn't have the fancy floss that was needed for his nose or his hat. So, or the house. So I got this little start done. It's another paper pattern, so I don't know percentages. But the fancy threads, it's literally 3 weeks dye works. Chickpea, kudzu, and crimson. I didn't have them. So I'm gonna have to go to the shop at some point. What a shame, I'm gonna have to buy some thread. But I think my plan with this one is I'm not gonna pick this up again until sort of November, December time next year. Or do the Christmas in July thing, but don't know if I can be bothered with that. So at least November, December. But I reckon I could probably get a good chunk of this finished. Because the only other sort of festive one I have is that bloody wreath thing. Which I may... I don't know. We'll think... What, do you know what? I don't even have to worry about it. Those I will concentrate on next year. That'll be next year's problem. And then I have Cross Stitch Nation. Right. Let me just sort this out because it's turning into chaos. I'll be right back with the new ones. Bear with me. Okay, we're back. So, yes, Cross Stitch Nation is the next one on the list. So I believe I did this on Boxing Day, which would make sense. This is also a heartstring sampling. I belong to the cross stitch nation. I don't know why it turned into a bit of a song. But yeah, started this one on Boxing Day. This one also has some fancy floss in it, which I've just decided that I'm going to swap out because I didn't want to buy more fancy floss. And I started along the top with that border. I thought there was a spider, it isn't. Just a thread, no need to panic. All is fine. And I did this in one day. Well, half a day maybe, I don't know. And then I've got all the fancy people underneath, which I might go and buy the right thread for, but why? It's not sort of necessity that it has to be those colours. I can just make it up as I go along. But yeah, I've done that one along the top, and then I've put I belong. Not masses. And I'm glad that I put a whole day into it, because if I'd have just done a couple of those flowers, it would have really annoyed me. I don't like having teeny tiny starts particularly. I like having a good blob done. So that's fine. So that can go back in there with all the fancy flosses that I've randomly chosen. Yeah, one of the dogs is moaning. Okay. But yeah, I would say I've done about 10-ish% on that one. Like I want to, I don't know, a decent push for that one next year, because it's just a nice casual one. Next is Memento Mori. So I was really lucky and I got the witchy stitching olive or willow, shush. I got the witchy stitching book for Christmas, and I will get the picture of what it's supposed to look like. Any moment, there we go. That's what this one's supposed to look like. I didn't have any sort of aged sort of colouring. Oh my god, my brain. Aged looking fabric. Didn't have any, but I did have an interesting dark purple. I don't know if this is going to work out. Maybe complete trash. But I thought it would still give that sort of spooky vibe. That's as far as I've got. So I've started them off at the top and done some of the top of the hourglass. I don't have any sort of stats for this one again because it's not in Pattern Keeper, it is in the book. And I did the little face in the middle. But I also couldn't find the other colours that I needed for this. I definitely have them. They're probably just in one of the other projects. But I got a good start done. So that's Lady Me's problem, so that's fine. And then we've got, I tried to do a black work project. This is also on an 18 count Ada maybe. And it was like a Dungeons and Dragons pattern that I found on Etsy. That's what this one looks like so far. I've used a variety of fancy flosses because why not? And you can kind of see, I think I was doing it this way. Yeah, because I started. It doesn't really matter because they're all the same. It's like symmetrical, yeah, symmetrical all the way around, or mirrored. It's mirrored all the way around. Yeah, I think it was that way because I was doing. It was that way. That's the way. Doesn't matter. It'll all look the same eventually, but that's the way it was going, I think. Yeah, and the fabric. Oh, I'm getting really tired. My brain is not working as well. The colours I have used are African Violet by Cottage Garden Threads, Page Turner by Cottage Garden Threads, and Cactus by Weeks Dye Works. But the green on this one, I don't know if it shows very well. It's quite light. Like the dark, you can see really well. The light green, not so well. So I may or may not have to swap them out and choose some different ones. But that's still not my problem today. Alright, we're getting close to the end. We've got Manul. Don't know what it is. This is by Owl Forest Embroidery. Originally, I had planned that I was going to start the 100 owls on this piece of fabric, which is 32 count Murano limestone even weave, but I'd got myself a fat 1/8 and that was not big enough for that pattern. So I went to their website instead, because it's Christmas still, and I bought myself one of the patterns, and it's called Mantle, but it's with the palace cat on it. And this is as far as I got in that one day. So it's going to be all of this, and then it'll go over into the palace cat, and there's like designs along the bottom. But I thought it was really weird and funny and cute and quirky all at the same time. As you could probably tell at this point, I like quite weird and quirky patterns. I don't like your sort of stereotypical traditional cross stitch. I like more unusual patterns. So this is as far as I got. I really like this pattern. It only has 9 colours in it. How can something look that good with only 9 colours in it? There is some variegated floss in there. I think if you got her threads, they would look better and more variegated. But it's either her threads or the DMC conversion. So I looked at the DMC Weeks, Dye Works, Colour Works, whatever conversions, and I found Louisiana Hot Sauce, which is the DMC sort of equivalent-ish, but a bit variegated. And I found a blue, Teal Frost by Weeks, Dye Works, that should be able to stand in for some of the blue that's in there. So I've kind of gone by what's needed and then also kind of not. But I was able to do 529 out of 8,599 stitches. So with this one, I'm at 6.15%. For me, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. And then the final 2, one is another one by the Witchy Stitcher. This pattern I've had from the Witchy Stitcher for years. I've been wanting to do it, but for whatever reason, I got the PDF and it will not go into Pattern Keeper. I don't know why. I've tried, I think because it has multiple shots of the pattern. It has like the main pattern, and then it has like each page is split into pages. Tried it so I could just try and get it to take the main picture, and then I've tried to do it so it just takes the sort of pages. Either way, it just won't do it. I don't know if it's my Pattern Keeper or what, but either way, I started doing it off of my phone, just checking the pattern like that, but it's not convenient, but it's fine. And this pattern is called Medicine and Poison. It's by the Witchy Stitcher, and usually it's done on a black fabric, like many of her designs. I don't like stitching on black fabric. It looks really good. It's going to look great on black fabric, but for my eyes, I have some chunky glasses, I don't like stitching on black. So I've decided to do on this vintagey sort of jean denim blue. This is as far as I got in one day. This is the and then this is going to be the rest of the, well, some of Medicine. I just thought I would go as close as I could. I think this is a 32 count antique blue, possibly a Zweigart. It's really nice to work on. It's really quite soft, and this is 2/2, I believe. Yeah, 2/2. And I am not showing you the back because that's rude. Feels invasive. This is going to be perfect on here. I think that looks really cool, and I'm proud of myself for using my brain. But this took me a little while as well. Whenever I'm changing a pattern or a design that's in a specific way, I'm a bit like, oh, I'm going to get told off. But again, this is only for me. It's going to look good. It's fine. Right, so that's that one. I don't know how much percentage-wise I've completed because I have not got it in Pattern Keeper. If someone is able to tell me how to get it in Pattern Keeper, spectacular. But I don't know how to. Right. And the final cross stitch pattern that I have ongoing at the moment is the one that I started last night, or yesterday, up until midnight. This is my 12th and final start. This is Yumi by Heaven and Earth Designs. I know Heaven and Earth Designs is a bit controversial, but because I'm starting to get into more full coverage, I wanted to try and put Heaven and Earth Designs to the test because I really like Thread Geeks. I've got quite a few more of their patterns in stock, and I know there's the whole controversial AI sort of issue, which I'm not going to go into. I'm going to leave that. That's nothing to do with me. But I wanted to see the quality because some people do Heaven and Earth Design, some people do so many other companies, but the ones that I want to sort of look into are this one, Unconventional Cross Stitch, has a couple of patterns that I really like, and then obviously I know I like Thread Geeks. But they've retired a load of their artists. I don't really know why. That's nothing to do with me either. I don't know what they're going to do design-wise. Don't know what's happening there. But this is as far as I've got for Yumi. So Yumi, I got 1,317 out of 268,200. So I'm at 0.49%. And just bringing that closer so you can enjoy. Oh my gosh. I do apologise about my needle minder. If you've read that, let me remove that. For people who may be offended. And I'll just stab that right in there. Okay. Yeah, so far I've got a nice big blue blob. There is sort of like a dark butterfly that I think is coming in here. Oh, this is also a max colour version as well. Because it's my first Heaven and Earth design, I didn't know which one to go for particularly, so I just went, let's just go max colour. I don't think this is the max size either, but it's still very big. But yeah, that's my last and final whip. I think I'm planning on doing a bit more of that today, but I am doing Milestone Manor. I don't know if I said that, I probably have. Yeah, so I will go through that in another video. I'm not doing that right now. That's a lot of detail. If you want to know the details of Milestone Manor, have a look at Jessie Marie does stuff. She's got so many different sort of games. She is the queen of WhipGo, and this is a new game that she's come out with. I'm really excited about starting it. Details, that'll be for another one. But this is my Wip Parade. These are all of my whips. I think I have 27 in total. My plan is to try and get a load of them finished this year. I'm moving away from non-full coverage onto full coverage because I find them really sort of satisfying, and I love the progress when you can see it. But yeah, if you have any questions, put them down below. But yeah, if you like this video, maybe like it. I don't know, this is my first video. But yes, I will see you all soon. Bye!